Hello dear all, myself Danya Divakar. A warm welcome to my channel Shades of Literature. A big thanks to all out there for subscribing my channel and also for leaving your valuable comments. Today I'll be doing the concluding part of Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth. So before going into the class, let me just give you a brief gist of what I did in my previous video. My previous video was about two series. They are series C and series D. In series C, Fanon speaks about 4 different groups of people who were exposed to different kinds of tortures. As a result of this torture, they had to undergo different kinds of mental disorders. So all these has been explained in detail by Fanon in series C. Now coming to series D, Fanon says that these tortures doesn't curtail to just a mental level, but also it just goes on to next level, that is the physical level. So both psychologically as well as physically, people were tortured, and as a result they developed psychosomatic symptoms, as such growing gray hairs, having stiffness in muscles, not having a proper kind of menstrual cycle. So all these examples Fanon has given there. So this is all about series D. Now coming to the concluding part. Before concluding the chapter, there is a small section where Fanon speaks about the Algerians, and the section is titled as From the North Africans. During the colonial era, it was believed that Algerians were born criminals. Here the same theory has been propagated and taught in universities as well. They taught the same theory in universities. They also assumed that Algerians were habitual killers, they were savage killers, and they were senseless killers. And they have given a reason also to us. They, in the sense the colonial powers, they have given a reason also to us, and the reason is that why these Algerians were portrayed as criminals. The reason behind this idea is that their brains were underdeveloped. The Algerian brains were underdeveloped, and this is the reason why the Algerians turned out to be criminals. So now Fanon just analyzes all these clauses given by the colonial powers. He just analyzes this and he just blasts out and vehemently criticizes by saying that Algerian brains are not inexperienced or they are not underdeveloped. Rather, they have been exposed to various kinds of mental tortures, various kinds of physical tortures, various kinds of other traumatic situations they had to face. So they were undergoing different kinds of tortures throughout the colonial rule. So the problem is not with their underdeveloped brain or inexperienced situations. No, Fanon says that the problem lies with the colonial situation. There is nothing to do with the criminality or nothing to do with the underdeveloped brains, and the very problem lies in the very colonial situation. He vehemently criticizes that and gives them a strong warning that until and unless the colonial situation changes, you just cannot criticize the colonized people for their criminal behavior. If at all they have turned out to be criminals, it's purely because of their experiences, purely because of those tortures which they had to take from the colonial power. So he criticizes the colonial situation there. So at this note, he ends the small section, that is From the North Africans. Now coming to the concluding section of the chapter, Fanon says that now it's time for us to shift sides. By this he says that Europe, a country which has only looted, plundered, killed people throughout the world, it's time for us to just leave this country. He also says that what is there so much special about Europe? There is nothing else over there. They have just given bloodshed, trauma and sorrow to people, not only to a particular class of people, rather to the whole world. Wherever they have gone as colonizers, the whole world has suffered a lot under these colonial powers. So it's time now for us to leave Europe, and it's time now for us to just come out from the shackles of their colonial power. Fanon also says that the Europeans have taken over leadership with violence. he then appeals and says that just don't follow the footprints of the Europeans and just don't imitate them blindly. The colonized countries are much better than the European power structure. We have much more capabilities and potentials. So just follow your own instincts rather than blindly following the European power structure or their footprints. So stop imitating the Europeans. He gives us an example also. He gives the example of America, which was once colonized by the European power. So he says that now just look at America, it has turned out to be a monster kingdom which has huge potentials and huge capabilities. So every colonized country can look at America as a role model. This is what Fanon says, and as a final appeal he just says to the African men to create a new history. He also says that create new men and start a new beginning. This is what Fanon says to African men. At this note, Fanon ends the 5th chapter. So I think I've done justice to Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth. Kindly go through all the videos to get a better idea about the book. I've given the summary in a detailed way, so just go through all the videos. If you have any queries, please do post in my comment box. Frantz Fanon is not at all outdated. We all live in a post-colonial world. So it's the ideas propagated by Frantz Fanon is not outdated. So just kindly go through. Your queries and your doubts will be welcomed. I'll just try to answer with whatever little knowledge I have. I'll just try to answer to all your questions. So this is all about Frantz Fanon's Wretched of the Earth. If you really like my video, just do subscribe. Also leave your valuable comments in my comment box, and just don't forget to ping on the bell button so that you get notified of all the new videos whichever I post. So thanks a lot. I'll be coming up with a new video or a new topic in my next lecture. Until then, stay safe. Bye bye.